So I'm just relaxing today. Um, just processing things. I mean, I still have no idea what's going on with my son. I was supposed to have him this weekend, but he wanted to stay up there with his grandfather. Of course, his grandfather's supposed to be doing something to get him away from his mom. I texted his grandfather last week. Haven't heard back from him. Um, and that's how it goes. That's how people treat a father in broken families. There's no need to let the father know. I wrote his grandfather, two text messages, two nice, few paragraphs, text messages telling him that, I please get my son out of his mom's house and that I'm unable to go to court, but that I back him getting my son out of that house immediately. And, and a couple other things. And I haven't heard back. I mean, what kind of fucking shit is that? You know what I mean? And I'm not texting my son because he's obviously under enough stress already. So I'm just responding to my son when he texts me, as he texts me. So I have no clue what's going on. And this is the life of a fucking poor American father from broken homes. You can't do anything. Your hands are tied. Completely tied. And if I was 100% healthy with my, physically and mentally, I'm sure I would figure out a way, like I always have, to do something. But I can't. And I just have to, and that's what my whole sickness has been about, is just realizing that there's nothing I can do about anything outside of me. Nothing. Because I'm not even healed. I'm a sick person. So, yeah. But, at least, I guess my son's doing fine. I text him, we text back and forth a couple days ago. But I can't even go into details. I can't ask him. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put any of this on him. Anything on him at all. So his grandfather has no respect for me. Zero respect for me. You know what I mean? And that's fucked up because, his daughter probably stole a whole bunch of money from him right before she left me to put that down payment on her townhouse that she bought when she left me. And whatever else she did with however, God knows how much money she stole from him. But I'm always the bad guy. Always the bad guy. And me and Bubby, her dad, always got along very well. We got along pretty damn well. At least he always got along to my face very well. Up until, what time was it? It was when Jessica had threatened to keep my son from me. This was several years ago. Like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe more. I don't know, right around then. But she threatened to keep Aiden from me. And I said, well, look, it's my weekend. I'm going to get him, She's like, well, I'm going to be at my dad's house. And I was like, well, Jessica, I'm going to have to call the cops and get him from you because, I'm supposed to have him. And I can't remember what it was, but she was trying to keep him from, she was like making power plays on me. And I know what she was doing. She got exactly what she wanted. She got her dad to be mad at me. Because what she got was for me to text her that, well, I'll call the cops when she was going to be at her dad's house. And then, so what happened was I showed up to pick Aiden up like a few weeks later from his house. Because she ended up letting me have the kid that week like she was supposed to. And so I showed up to Bubby's house a few weeks later to pick up the kid. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bubby had flipped a switch on me. And he was like, hey, so you going to call the cops on me? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you going to call the cops on me, huh? I said, Jessica's going to keep the kid from me. I said, Bubby, of course I'm going to call the cops if she's going to keep the kid from me. Oh, I see how it is. I see how it is. And ever since then, that's all it took. And it was like, fuck, man, flip the fucking switch on me, you know? But he's been cool with me. He's cool with me. This is the thing, is that he's still cool with me, but it wasn't like it was before. Like, his daughter's a complete piece of shit. And just a complete selfish piece of shit. And he just, I don't know, he finds it amusing. He acts like, oh, well, that's how some people are. I don't know what his deal is, man. He comes from his family all grew up in Strasbourg, so he's got a nice, big, tight family in Strasbourg. They all take care of it. You know what I mean? So everything's taken care of his whole life. He's worked at the same job for like 30 years. You know what I mean? That kind of family. So, yeah, I'm sure if you come from stability like that, it'd be pretty fucking hard to understand someone like me. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, Bubby gave my son, he took my son in. He, at 14, when I had my brain injury and had to go live with my brother, and then my son lived with him till 17, then moved in with my brother. And he's always taking, just took my son in. So, he's a good guy, but the problem is, just because somebody did something good doesn't mean that you just ignore everything. Like when his daughter stole 20 grand from his granddaughter last year, I think it was last year, and he told me about it. He was laughing about it because I had walked up to him. We were at some kind of local sport, I think the football game, Maiden's football game or something. I can't remember. But I walked up to him out there, and he's like, did you hear about Jessica and stole that 20 grand from her daughter? I'm like, fuck, Bubby, that shit isn't even fucking funny. That's disgusting. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I have no friends. Like, nobody likes me because I don't care. I'm not trying to make friends. I don't consider you a friend just because you agree with me, because you're nice and smile to my face. It doesn't make you a friend. To not have that respect for me. He saw my panic attack. Fuck, dude. What the fuck's wrong with you? No respect. And that's the thing. If I had money, that's the thing. It's a pay to play system. If I had money, none of this shit would even be going. I would not be disrespected like this. None of this shit would be going on. All this shit would be taken care of. My son would not be in limbo. But I have no say. I can't push anything. I'm not trying to make the situation any worse for anybody, so I just got to sit here and just take it like a fucking bitch. Right up the ass. I had a major... Right before I got with this woman, I had a major head injury. I was out with a bunch of friends, slid out. We were in a parking lot. We were walking across the street to get ready to go to some dude's house that had a bar in his basement, and I slipped on the ice and fell back, hit my head, and blacked out. And next thing I know, we're stumbling into this house, And I kept on going in and out. And then next thing I know, we're fighting. Got knocked out again. Next thing I know, we're awake. And next thing I know, we're fighting again. I mean, it was crazy. It was a very bad head injury. And the reason I mention that is because right after that is when I got with his mom. And I was running around with a bunch of people. When I told these girls, they found out that I was gonna, get with this woman. They all looked at. I remember this one girl looked at me and she said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Like your head are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I just remember that to this day because they all said that. Everybody said, they were like, "What? Why are you what?" Nobody understood, man. And so I'm just saying, because I was having these head injuries, man, and I was making decisions because I didn't recognize what a head injury was. I had had so many head injuries in my life, and I just lived. I kept on doing living the next day. Like it was like I lived in the fog and lived with the headache and lived with because I was drinking so much and just partying and just living life and doing what I had to do and ignoring pain like I was taught, And so what I'm finding is that I was making a lot of decisions during these head injuries. I think it was the year after that, I had another major head injury in between there where I had been knocked out partying. And then it had been within a year, we had gone on it was a nightmare. We had gone to the beach with her mom on a vacation, and it was a nightmare. But anyways, I got in a fight with these two guys, and they stomped my ass. Like, I've never had my ass kicked by anybody this bad. I got knocked out many, 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 many times in the military, boxing and stuff. But I mean, after I had already been knocked out, these guys just kept on fucking, kicking me in the head. And so I had some major I was fucked up, man. They fucked me up really bad. And, and things just fell apart after that. And God knows, because I haven't been able, every time I think about that one, it like hurts my head. Every time I think about those two, the one slipping on the ice, that whole thing, man, it just hurts my head when I think about it. Because I never recovered from any of it. When I woke up, I never recovered from any head injuries, ever, until my major head injury. And even then, I was, So yeah, I'm just, I'm coming to terms with the fact that I have made a lot and now as I got older, especially, you know what I mean? Just my capabilities were slowing down. But I was still living very quick, a very fast life. But I was slowly just losing my ability to do all kinds of things. Like the frog in boiling water, and just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Because when I wasn't suffering from brain injuries or head trauma or trauma in general, I was completely intoxicated, And yeah, when I fell off that roof, when I had that major brain injury, I mean, guys, this is what I'm saying. This is how I kept going. When I had that major brain injury, I fell off that roof. We kept working. I sat there for a minute or two, regained my balance, composure, got back on the roof, kept working. It was the middle of summer. It was like 95 degrees outside. Kept working for a couple hours, finished working, started drinking like we always do. Drank. The guys all wanted to hang out again. Then I was like, nah, I wasn't feeling good. I felt like this headache coming on, right? I was like, nah, something felt off. I was like, no, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go get a good night's sleep because we had to go back to work the next day. We had a full schedule of work, and it was only like a Monday or Tuesday or whatever, And I had already fell off the roof. I wasn't feeling good. Something had happened to me, and I was like, man, I better get a good night's sleep tonight. And I went home, and I fucking laid down on my back, and I never fall asleep on my back. I'm not a back sleeper. I'm a stomach or side sleeper. My whole life, I can't sleep on my back. If I fall asleep on my back, it means I'm extremely hurt. Something's going on. Extremely exhausted. You know what I mean? So I woke up at whatever time in the morning, and it was still pitch black outside, and I couldn't move. I was laid out flat on my back, hands to my side, flat out. And it was like, it was like I was in a tunnel and I could not fucking move. And I was in so much pain. It was a major, major, major pain. And I was stuck like that. And I was stuck like that. I couldn't move. I crawled out of bed. I was stuck like that for 2 days, I think. And I was able to crawl out of bed once or twice during that 2 days to take a piss and crawl right back, and it was the same fucking thing. So by the third day, I was like, see, I had a couple guys that were working for me, but I was working for this boss here, right? So I was supposed to be to work those 2 days. I didn't show up. They didn't know where I was. They didn't know what was going on. And I lived way out, like 35 minutes away. You know what I mean? So nobody bothered. They just were like, well, I guess he's drunk. Which I'm like, you guys are stupid. When do I never come to work because I'm drunk? Never. Alcohol. I was a highly, highly, highly functioning alcoholic. I went to work. Always went to work. So anyways, I came the third day. I was able to crawl into my car, and I was in so much pain. And I came down here and I told him what happened, and I think I took 2 more days off, and then I was right back to work. But what ended up happening was I started having major emotional swings, anger, severe anger. So, which of course led to more head trauma. And more trauma. And within a few months, I was unable to work because I was getting sick. I was painting on a wall one day, and the whole wall just went, and after that, I was unable to work. I was working for people. I was getting ready to start my own business. I was trying to get my own business started doing this work. And while I was doing that, I was working for other people doing different things. Trying to learn different things. I was working for a painter at the time. And man, yeah, so then because I did not heal, my shit was shutting down. And what I've come to realize, this is what I've put together, is that it's a whole system approach. So, we are all susceptible to all these diseases. We are all susceptible to all these viruses. We are all susceptible to all of this. It's just where you are, like your body, you as a human, as a physical being on this earth, can only take so much before your body displays these diseases, which is just being at disease, not at ease. So what I'm realizing is that we're all able to go until we, for me, it was lockdowns. Like that was my fun. That's what started really fucking me up. And then my brain injuries. You know, for other people, it's other things. But whatever your thing is, we all have our, okay, I can't do anymore, you know? Okay, my body can't take enough. Okay, I've had so much cognitive dissonance. You've taken me so far away from what's natural and natural to this realm and natural as a human being to be a human being on this realm that I can't even understand. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these younger generations that are growing up with all this artificial intelligence and all these computers and all these screens and all this entertainment and all, it's so different because even though you can't watch this and get a correct view of life, you can watch 100 TV shows on homelessness and have no clue what homelessness is until you go out and talk to a homeless person. And that goes for everything. Everything. You know? And the problem is that, you know, you can study as much as you want, but you're studying somebody else's experience. The only thing that matters is your experience. And they talk about the human experience, and they talk about how we're all one and how we're got to do it as a group. Man, fuck the group. The group is crushing you. The group doesn't care about your feelings. The group is fucking dangerous, man. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the group. The group is the wrong way to go. It's about the individual. There is no human in the group. There's no human in the group. And I'm just realizing, you know, it's just that we're all susceptible to these things. And if you're having a hard time and you don't understand why and you're younger, it's because you have been born into bamboozlement. Like, at least when I was born I was born in 79. And in 79, I mean, there was very little. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, these frequencies are no joke. It's the one thing they don't talk about, man. But when you really think and understand what frequencies are and that everything's a frequency and that things, I mean, when you consider that now they're trying to say, okay, well, maybe the pyramids were built with frequencies. Maybe this was made with frequencies. You know, they're understanding the power. They're healing cancers with frequencies. They're able to do it. You know, their crowd controls, our militaries are using frequencies, the directed energy weapons. I mean, God damn, guys. I mean, wake up. You know, and then it's so funny, these Americans that are like, my guns, I got my guns, they're going to protect me. You know, they're never going to come after me. Man, that's the funniest false sense of hope, man, those stupid guns. Dude, they tore down all of Paradise, California with directed energy weapons from up in the sky. You think that, you guys mention your guns, that's such a distraction. They got you guys spending so much time, effort, and money on them fucking guns. That's such a fear fucking thing. They got directed energy weapons. They got crowd control, fucking sound, vibrational frequency weapons. Man, your guns are a thing of the past, man. That's an ancient relic. They can control a whole town before they come in there and do anything with them. Man, it's just, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys, the whole thing is to let go of this life. Like, everything is to get you to want to hold on to this life. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't even think about this. Like, you guys want to live and slave your whole life to make things better on this earth for other people. But, you know, and that's a grand and noble gesture, but it's a delusion, you know? It's a complete delusion. Because it's not going to happen. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. It's not meant to happen. Because the system isn't going to allow it. That's not what the system does, you know? And it's just crazy when you tell people that they can heal on their own and they don't need any of this, because people want to hold on to everything outside of themselves. And it's crazy because, look, you can die at any moment. What if you don't learn all these things that you think you need to learn for your salvation? What if you don't learn all of these things that you need to learn to get out of here? What if you don't acquire the good karma to be able to... I mean, come on, think about it, guys. It's a joke. It's a joke, and it's all to get you to go outside yourself. And it's all to get you to doubt yourself. And it's crazy. It causes anxiety for us because we're so used to the dopamine hit. We're so used to the safety net, the convenience of someone else having the answers. Someone else, even if we don't understand, like these people who support all this space shit, they don't even understand the shit that they're telling. They say to defend it. They're just parroting things because it makes them feel better. To know that millions of people believe the way they do. And it doesn't have to make sense. It just means things that our dumb brains can't understand yet. And it's just, man, it's like when you understand everything plays the same way. They all try to act like, oh, well, you just aren't cool enough to understand yet, And they all want to put you in a low position and act like you got to work your way from there. It's a fucking joke. When the whole time you've been enough since birth. And guys, you are powerful. You are everything you need. And the only reason you're having problems is because you are a beautiful, pure soul born into an unnatural, extremely toxic, trauma-filled environment. The day you're born, you are abused and put on all kinds of programming. Tons of programming. They start pumping you full of toxins and everything the day you're born. All of your abuse starts the day you're born. And it doesn't get better from there. And then they put you in these indoctrination centers. And then most of us, I'd say 80% at least of us, probably had fucked up parents in some form or another that completely, crushed our souls and our own growth and our own ability to find our way out of this motherfucker. Because they had to, because that's how they coped to get through this shit. And everybody's playing the same game, and nobody knows anything more than anybody else, and we all have the answer. And the problem is as soon as you start going around saying you have the answer, but you have to quote a book, or you have to quote somebody else's knowledge, or you have to quote this or that, your whole thing is vanity. It all falls apart. Because then it becomes, as soon as you go outside yourself, it becomes a game of, well, how much more have I read and studied and integrated than you have? It becomes a game. Some people are addicted to the game. A lot of people are addicted to the game.